Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the NXT Ring Report. We get to what's going on, the round deals for NXT. Coming up, Joe Henry performs a live concert. TNA star Joe Henry makes a rare appearance on the black and gold brand, black and yellow brand, let's say. Joe Henry ready to give out a concert for the first time in NXT audience on NXT's Great American Bash Night 1. We get that as well. Plus, too, speaking of Joe, speaking of more action for you, we get to this. The huge 6-woman tag team match as Carmen Pavicton, Sola Ruka, and Lola Vice takes on Fallon Henry, JC Jane, and John Unit. Rear American Bash and set the stage for the major 6-woman tag team matchup coming up. Also, too, we get to this. The Heritage Cup Championship. If Tony D'Angelo put the Heritage Cup on the line against Taylor Height, that's going to be an exciting match to see right here. Taylor Heights versus Joe Henry. Tony D'Angelo coming up. Also, too, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships make a rare appearance on NXT as well, as Alba Fyre and Yasa Dunn come to NXT to defend the tag team gold against Lash Legend and Jahar Jackson. We'll see that. And our main event, the NXT Women's Championship is online as Roxanne Perez defends against Tia Hill. Tia Hill finally win the NXT Women's Championship. We'll get to it as we start. The Pro Wrestling Show starts right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kid Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Presents the NXT Ring Report. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe and share. Tell somebody or let somebody know the Pro Wrestling Show is on. And we thank you for watching. All right, let's get to the NXT Ring Report right here, right now. And we'll kick things off the NXT Ring Report with this. The WWE Women's Tag Team titles are on the line as Lisa Dunn, I Fisher defend against Lash Legend and Jakar Jackson. We get to that right now. Lash Legend and Jakar Jackson looking for some gold after they had put the challenge out that they wanted to wrestle for the NXT Tag Team Championships and got ambushed by the champions. The champions, Issa Dunn and Issa Fisher, ready and able. We know that they was ready for some strong competition and they had to figure out against some black girls. We'll tell you a little bit later that what's gonna go down a little bit. Well, the match started off a little bit fresh and strong throughout the whole entire night. But Issa Dunn was almost in trouble, and she thought she was, but she found a way to counter it and counteracted it to her liking. And they got John Jackson and decided to do that move and won the match. Issa Dunn and Dunn and Isla Fisher are ready. They'll be set to defend the Women's Tag Team Championships against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill this Friday on SmackDown. So we get a preview of this match, but Issa Dunn and Isla Fisher ready and defeated Lash Legend and Jakar Jackson, who's kind of similar to Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. We'll see this Friday on SmackDown. Don't forget to look forward to seeing the SmackDown Ring Report on that action. So we'll get that coming up. Also, too, the Heritage Cup was on the line as Tony D'Angelo defending the championship against Tavon Heights. Tavon Heights, a newcomer onto the scene. Tavon Heights getting himself ready. Tony D'Angelo trying to maneuver around a fighting Heritage Cup champion and win the championship over Ty Dempsey. I think Tony D'Angelo is doing that, coming out with his family and stuff with the Heritage Cup. Tony D'Angelo doing a side headlock takedown into the match and trying to get the win. Tony D'Angelo with the first round, nail biter right there to the close. We don't even know what that fan is and what that fan doing, but she had a vested interest in. I think she's with Charlie Dempsey now. Well, Tavon Heights couldn't get the job done, and it was on round 3 and stuff. You got to get a pinfall to win the match or something. Or the match really going. Tyler Bourne came out of nowhere and did something. That fan, that overjealous fan, came out of nowhere and decided to slap Tavon Heights. It really kind of cost them the match. No cash crew. Uh, you can tell right here, Dillon was not too happy about that. Well, Tony D'Angelo picked up the win, and Tony D'Angelo picked up the win thus far. So we get Tony D'Angelo with the win. Speaking of that, NXT champion Ethan Page. Ethan Page made an appearance that he wants to get his hands on Oral Mensa, and he'll do whatever it takes to get his hands on Oral Mensa. After Oral Mensa keeps interrupting him and interfering in his matches, he wants to put a stop to that and believes Oral Mensa is nothing but a menace to society and trying to pin him and get the upset. He said he's not going to let that happen. Uh, NXT champion wanted to figure out what he has to do. Well, the NXT champion did not have to look too far. I'll tell you that right now. Ava signed the match on the dotted line. And, we know that Ethan Page will defend the NXT championship next week. He'll defend it against Oral Mensa and sign on the dotted line. Ethan Page will go against Oral Mensa next week at week 2 of the Great American Bash. We'll see that man or Mr. Sign his name on the as a challenger for the NXT Championship. So we'll see that next week if Ethan Page can find a way to shut up the critic and defeat Oral Mensa. That happens next week on NXT. It looks like Ethan Page yeah, so for Trick Williams on the line, but it kind of feels that way. But who knows? I think Ethan Page will get his revenge, so he'll get his revenge next week against Oral Mensa. Brooks and Jensen, a new look, a new attitude by Brooks and Jensen, more like it's acting like his father. Brooks and Jensen took out his frustrations on any and everybody that was around him. He even went through the announcers table. Brooks and Jensen lost to um, Javon Evans, and Brooks and Jensen wants to get his hands on Javon Evans real bad. So that could be a possibility down the road. So we'll see. But speaking of that, Joe Henry getting ready for his concert. Joe Henry being surrounded by a bevy of looking good women, fine good women, beautiful women. I like to say. Joe Henry getting ready for his concert. He did his concert. Joe Henry wanted to show the world that he can cross over as a TNA star into a WWE star. I think eventually, when his contract runs up, he's going to eventually want to be a WWE star. You can tell. I always believed Joe Henry was going to be in WWE some way somehow, but this is the this is beneficial to both WWE and TNA. You think about it. But Joe Henry decided to sing a song, a mock song. He mocked Triple H and HBK, two dudes that's running WWE in a way, the Generation X. Even to the point that he mocked Booker T. Booker T got marked on the floor. Joe Henry, all jokes aside, Joe Henry got attacked from behind by Gallus, by Joe Coffey. Joe Coffey attacked Joe Henry and laid him out. So we know next week that Joe Henry wants a match. He wants retribution more ways than one. He wants some revenge. Joe Henry wants to take on Joe Coffey. He'll get that match next week against Joe Coffey after Joe Coffey ruined his concert. So Joe Henry will be looking forward to that match sooner rather than later. But Joe Henry really impressive. He has the look, he has the physique, and he has the height. It would be crazy enough if WWE wouldn't want to hire him and get him aboard. So look for him and what's it Jordan Grace making sign something down the road. Well, the Rascals made a bit return. If you can recall that 70 show, the Rascals made fun of what they was doing in TNA. Now they're doing it in WWE. Well, Rascals get a shot and an opportunity next week. So we'll see what the Rascals are going to be up to. We know next week they'll be in a huge match next week. So look forward to seeing the Rascals. Speaking of that, Jada Parker. Jada Parker from OTM. She was in action. She kind of was looking at Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez not a fan of Jada Parker. And Jada Parker could be a threat to her women's championship down the road. You never know. But Jada Parker was in action, in ring action against somebody. Jada Parker went against them. Jada Parker did her damage and did her work. Jada Parker kind of setting up the side right here with a trio woe to the fact that Jada Parker even did the move that was destined. She knocked her out and got the 1, 2, 3. And Jada Parker won her match. So we'll see what's next for Miss Jada Parker in NXT. A lot of women matches and stuff. We get that all the time. Someone asked me earlier that I'm close to saying, why do NXT showing a lot of women matches? I guess just to build up ratings and people want to see sexy girls running around ringside. That's what I'm assuming. That could be it. Well, we'll get that a little bit later as Dia Hill was consulting with Chase U, her group mates and stuff. And they want to know what's next. And I think Chase U trying to figure out what's next for them and what's going to be going down for them down the road for them. They want to support Tia Hill and see if she can win the women's championship. Tia Hill has been quite impressive as a win the women's title. Well, we have a lot going on here. A huge 6-woman tag team match between Solo Roca, Fallon Henry, a lot of girls, JC Jane, all of them competing for an opportunity. These girls know a thing or two about and Solo Roca as well. Um, they're putting their heart, their soul, their effort into their matches and stuff. Well, Shawn Michaels know a thing or two. He knows about ratings, HBK. Shawn Michaels trying to build up his base, build up folks getting to know. I kind of know a couple of the NXT women, the women's champion Roxanne Perez, Solo Roca. You see Fallon Henry and them competing. Um, all the women trying to showcase their skills, their talent into the ring and stuff. Face buster right there onto Fallon Henry. Even Solo Roca going up top trying to reach and do a move and stuff throughout. And, a lot of the women's trying to show their athletic prowess throughout the whole time, man, showcasing their abilities, even doing that corkscrew moonsault. The effect right here, doing the some maneuver right here, and I left all 4 women corner into the ring right there. But running smash, all the women doing what they need to do. Solo Roca got the win for her team, and Solo Roca did what she needed to do, powerbomb and foul Henry to get the 1, 2, 3. So good for Solo Roca doing what she needed to do. Well, and hit a perfect plex as well. So there was a lot of maneuvers throughout the whole entire match. I'll tell you that. Well, we get to this. We know that Kehlani Jordan want to be a fighting North American champion. And Keanu Jordan says she's going to defend her Women's North American Championship against Taylor Paxton. Taylor Paxton had the championship match in the Division 10 name, but unsuccessfully lost. But now she wants to go for the more championships. She's going for the NXT North American Women's Championship. Can she do it? Time will tell. But what is this? This strange lady right behind him. It's kind of strange when you think about it. What things going on? Well, we get to this. The NXT Women's Championship Online. That's the reigning, defending, undisputed NXT champion Roxanne Perez set to defend her championship here, who has known a thing or two try to go for the women's championship. Tia Hill trying to go for Roxanne Perez's women's title. Tia Hill being supported and led to the ring by her group mates, uh, Andrew Chase and a lot of others. Still didn't do so well. Didn't do what it needed to do at the end. But Tia Hill taking it too. She wants to be the NXT Women's Champion. She got to go through Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez was bold and ready to go. And Roxanne Perez did everything. Did here using DDT, but that still wasn't enough. As Roxanne Perez found a way to win by using her finisher, and Roxanne Perez leaves tonight on NXT. Still, your reigning, defending NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne Perez. If she's only 2000, she's only 22 years old. Imagine how good she's going to be when she's getting her prime, like 25, 26, 27. She's going to be a really good women's champion wrestler. And I remember Roxanne early on winning the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. And now Roxanne Perez is on the top of the mountain as the NXT Women's Champion. So a lot of big thing, a bright future for Roxanne Perez. I'll tell you that right now. All right, that ends the NXT Ring Report. Let's go on to NXT Hot Topics. On Top Topics, next week, um, Trick Williams, the former NXT champion, takes on Pete Dunne, former Heritage Cup champion. After Pete Dunne beat up Trick Williams, Pete Dunne making enemies left and right. On Raw, he's making enemies with Sheamus. On NXT, he's making enemies with Trick Williams. I don't know who he's making enemies with on SmackDown, but I wouldn't be scared nor shocked nor surprised. But Trick Williams looks to get his payback and get his receipt next week against Pete Dunne. We'll see that next week on NXT. Speaking of that, we had this right here to show that Matt Morgan, a lot of folks are criticizing WWE on the Go Home show of Raw last night. They felt like Raw wasn't up to par to what it should have been, and Raw wasn't that. This was Matt Morgan, a former WWE star and TNA star, said this is the most lackluster, unenthusiastic WWE Raw audience I've ever seen in a year. Why even bother go to a show if you're not going to participate as fans? You can't blame it on WWE week storyline anymore. You can't blame it on uninteresting characters either. So I guess Matt Morgan trying to put that out there, like, hey, be a part of the crowd, let us know, get involved. Okay. Speaking of that, former Governor Jesse Ventura made a visit to WWE. Jesse Ventura tweeted right here, in moments like this, it's truly an honor yesterday mean to meet the newest generation of wrestlers who are taking this show or shows into a very bright future. Talked to Damian Priest on Raw. Jesse Ventura visiting the WWE facility, whatever it was, to I had bird's eye view, I guess, on the body. That's what we'll see. Well, speaking of this right here, I want to get to this. Val Venis, Val Venis was the porn star back in the Attitude Era in WWE, was subject to LGBTQ website at the Val Venis, better known Sean Morley, is a strict conservative, and they try to show him and try to do what they need to do, but they said that he lost his naming rights, Val Venis, to X-user and making homophobic, transphobic comments on X. They decided to take away from him, and they're going to turn his wrestling name into a LGBT supported community. So I don't think Val Venis ain't going to be up too bored with that. But hey, like I said, leave the alphabet community alone, because you never know what they're going to do and what they're going to do. Strike. Leave this alphabet community alone, leave the Jews alone, and leave it all alone. Let them do what they want to do this day and age. Speaking, and lastly, Jacob Fatu. I told you on SmackDown Ring Report that Jacob Fatu is a savage. He's a vicious competitor. Well, Prognosis Feats agrees with me. Jacob Fatu is being presented as the most dangerous man in the Blood 2.0. He's a monster heel that SmackDown needs, which they do. SmackDown has been on a roll as of late, but they really do need Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu brings new, fresher light into WWE after his appearances on MLW as his former champion. So Jacob Fatu is really bringing it, and he could be walking out SmackDown this Friday as a tag team champion. Who knows? But we'll keep an eye on that. So we'll see. All right, we're gonna end you with Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez retaining her NXT Women's Championship over Tia Hill. What's next for Roxanne Perez? One time will tell. So, thank you for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show.